because I'm a Christian, I felt like the Lord was leading me to run for this office. I don't make any decision based on a political decision or an election. I just felt like there are some things that I've learned over the last 6 years that need to be changed. Some things need to be changed. We need to improve upon some things, and so I feel like I'm here ready because I have all the inside knowledge. I'm ready to go. Well, I hope that my voting record stands for itself. Typically, I am the no vote when the others vote yes. There are a lot of times that we do all vote the same, but on things such as the airport authority appointments, I voted no. Things like the renovation of City Hall, which is several $100,000, I voted no because I felt like that money could be spent somewhere else. I actually voted no to the budget this last year because I was wanting to actually increase and do some things with the fire department. And so I hope that my voting record will stand for itself in showing that I'm trying to represent the people and their best interest. Taxation is a big thing for people, and people are tired of being taxed. And so every time we try to make one of those decisions, I'm trying to think fiscally, like if this was my money, would I do this? Would I have redone City Hall and changed it from the vinyl that was in good condition to put hardy board on it? And so all of that goes into every decision that I make. Well, I actually had not even thought about that until you mentioned it the other day, because I'm just thinking of the work involved and what needs to be done for the people. I really haven't thought that much about whether it's going to be a woman or a man. I just want the work done. Now, when you mentioned it and I started thinking about it, I mean, that is pretty important that we're going to have a female stepping into this role, which shows, how the world is changing and that we have more opportunities. And I think it's going to be great. I think all of my past experiences help give me a different perspective, and the fact that I've been involved and been included in the meetings and the conversations, because I bring a certain level of knowledge. I currently serve on the Georgia Municipal Association's Advisory Council, which I was actually asked to join. There's about 35 people across the state. I serve on 2 other state advisory panels through Georgia Municipal Association. I've served on the Superintendent's Advisory Council in the past. I think not only the job experiences that I've had, but also the fact that I have been a mother. I've been involved with the school system. I've lived here for 30.5 years, been involved with the community, special needs mom, also an adoptive mom. I think all of those challenges and all the things that I've done in the past will play into giving me the skill set to be able to run the city. Georgia Municipal Association actually decided to put together a disaster preparedness team, and they sought me out for that because of what had happened here. We actually were putting together policies and protocols to give out to the entire state because so many different cities were hit with that disaster. And I think that the information they provided, along with us now having an EMA director, we're going to be in a much better position. And I'll tell you, a lot of people don't know this, but we actually had a major flood here prior to Debbie and Helene back in 2016. My house was one of the ones that were hit. There were 4 neighborhoods that were impacted. And we had foundation issues for 1/3 of our house. It took us 6 years to get our house put back together. So I've been advocating for drainage issues for a number of years, but it goes back to what you and I talked about earlier. I'm 1 vote on city council. 1 vote can't change anything. We have done a lot of work with the drainage, and we've put several $1 million into drainage, but I think there are other things that we can look at doing. One thing is talking about the stormwater runoff and increasing that percentage. There are certain legal limits to what can go off of run off of a development, a piece of property once it's developed, and I think that we can change that so that we have a little bit more, a stricter policy. We also need to look at the floodgates that have been suggested by Marcus Sack in the past. There are several things that we can look at doing. My position is we have a lot of projects, and I think that we need to stop for a minute, reassess where we are, needs versus wants, and we need to potentially take some of the projects off the table that are the new shiny pretty things, because in reality in 5 years they're going to be the things now that need the upkeep added to all the other things that we have that already need the upkeep. So I'm about putting a stop on everything for right now, identifying what the major needs are, and let's focus on those and bring those to fruition first. I'm not having to establish relationships with all these different people. During Debbie and Helene, I was on the phone because other people from the city were out of town or were flooded themselves, so I had to step into that role, and I was on the phone with county officials every day, multiple times a day. I think having those relationships that are already built, whether it be the county, whether it be the school board, the city of Pembroke, the development authority, I already have all of those relationships. We all already work well together. And you know, one thing I hear from a lot of people is they're tired of the city and the county. It's like we work in silos, but we don't have to. We can just bridge that gap and start working together, because really that's what we should be doing anyway. If you live in the county, you're impacted by what the city does. If you live in the city, you're impacted by what the county does. We all need to be working together as one team for the people. But I think there are some things that we could do to help make it a better steady growth versus just growing and being unprepared. I'm a proponent, and this is a controversial subject, but I'm a proponent for impact fees. I think if we put stricter building standards in place, it will help us control some of that growth. I mean, everybody wants to move here, right? We're the best secret that ever got out, but I'd like to think that when we're in 4 years that we would be in a position where we've addressed all of the low hanging fruit, some of the major issues like the drainage. I want people's quality of life to be better. At the end of the day, that's really what it's about. People are complaining about taxes, they're complaining about the drainage, they're complaining about the growth. But if we can really put some policy in place, some standards in place that can help with all those topics, everybody's quality of life will be better. I do think that the elected official mayor position needs to be doing some things, whether it be once a week on Facebook, putting out more information. Our city PIO does a great job with providing information, but I think it's the lack of the one-on-one correspondence. And so my plan would be to put more communication from myself out there, whether that be through a live on Facebook or written communication. And transparency, we only stream our official meeting. We don't stream our workshops. We don't stream planning and zoning. We didn't stream the tax meetings the other day, and I think all of that needs to be done.